So, good evening, everybody. I believe we are live. Good evening, Gabriel. Great to have you with us. So, good evening, Gabriel, Valentin, Laxina, Vladimir, Falern, and all of the others. Good evening, Count Beauty. Perfect timing as always. Good evening, Ro. Great to have you. Hi, VG. Great to see you. Yeah, in the last couple of seconds, I just started in here. So I hope you're all well. So let's see. I know that you were there. Is the word that on this sentence a conjunction? Or else? I know you were there. It's not, firstly, it's not necessary. Or is it something else? I know that you were there. I know you were there. I think it's probably a conjunction, but I'm not totally certain. So, good evening, Navan. Good evening, Shedi. Shalom, Reynard. Good evening, Manisco. Great to have you. Okay, so we're going to continue with this article that we were doing last week. There are only 2 questions left from it. And good evening, Beza. Hey, great to have you all here. Okay, yes. So, I believe you're new with us, Beza. Good to have you. Okay, so this was the last piece we were doing. It says when we eat a steak, we're not paying for the environmental degradation caused by the meat industry, says Alexander. We're not valuing those outcomes and paying for them when we consume the meat. So, yes, so, Han, good evening, Dark Ninja, great to have you. Okay, so let me put the first question up here. Good, we got 21 in now, that's quite good. Good evening, Oksana, great to have you. Okay, so any second, well, we'll see what the lag's like this evening. Here. Okay, so, come on. Yes, there it goes. A meat tax would reflect some of these harmful environmental impacts, but remains politically unpopular. That could change, says Alexander, as more people view meat as something we cannot permit, pay, afford, allow to eat in terms of sustainability. I can't concur with your stance and the conclusions reached in it. Yeah, that stance sounds fine. Okay, so it's a rip-off. Marino, good evening. Good evening, Vitali. So we've got some answers. So Vitali goes for a Ford, so does Gabriel, Valentin, and Falern goes for a Ford, Laxina for a Ford, Count Beauty for a Ford, Roland for a Ford, Oksana for a Ford. The meat issue again. There's only one more question by it. Something we cannot permit. Okay, for Reynard. Manisco for a Ford, Marino for a Ford. Hi, Maria Traspasso. VG says a Ford is the answer. Shedi for a Ford. Marino for permit. Okay, he's changed his mind. Okay, so Maria Traspasso, a Ford. Good evening, Jerry. A Ford, you say. Okay, so why not permit? We cannot permit ourselves to eat. We cannot permit to eat. As something we cannot permit ourselves to eat. We cannot permit the eating of it. Okay, well, we can certainly pay for it. This, because pay definitely talks about money. Something we cannot allow to be eaten. It's a relative pronoun in your sentence. Thank you very much, Vitali. Yeah, okay, a relative pronoun. Okay, so we cannot permit in terms of sustainability, without the to eat. Yeah. Yes, it would work well for learn. Okay. We cannot allow ourselves to eat, permit in terms of, but afford here. Very often afford, but people think that afford just talks about money, but I can't afford the time. We can't afford the environmental damage caused by it. So definitely we cannot afford to eat in terms of sustainability. Okay, I'm going to put the next one up, and this is the very last one we've got, and then we're going to get a new article. I think the next one's about narcissists. Yeah. Good evening, Mohammed. Great to have you. Okay, so we can't afford to do this. We can't afford the time. Yeah, I can't afford the extra time this is going to take. Hopefully, in the near future, we will have more accurate pricing and agricultural bursaries, reliefs, bounties, subsidies that reflect the food we produce and help us create a more sustainable system, says Papies. Yeah. Thanks then. Okay, so Vitali's very good with these things as well. Okay, so let's see. And good evening, Vibes. And you've gone for afford, which was the right answer. Yeah. Okay, good. It's a different meaning, isn't it? To permit yourself. Okay, so Vitali for subsidies, count beauty for subsidies. That's good, you see. You learn something and then the question comes up. Thank you, Mohammed. And subsidies for Oksana, Valentine, Roland, Gabriel, Laxina, Maria Traspasso, and Fenyard. Okay, so what is a bursary? Okay, I would love to come to Egypt one of these days. I come and visit you, and I come and visit Nora as well. Okay, so Manisco goes for subsidies. Okay, it looks like quite a landslide. Good evening, part 4, and good evening, Maha. So, what is a bursary? Yeah. And always a pleasure and never a chore. I love the polite way you write, Vitali. You don't understand this one, so no answer for you. Okay, this agricultural money provided by the government to keep farmers farming and stop them going out of business. So, howdy doody, left or right, great to have you. Yeah. A scholarship. A bursary is a scholarship. The bursar is the person who's in charge of the cash. He's the financial officer of a school or a university. So, agricultural scholarships. It's definitely not talking about a scholarship. Bounties. A bounty on somebody's head. A bounty hunter. For wanted, dead or alive, $1,000. This is a bounty. A bursary is a scholarship. That's it, Roland. Yeah. Agricultural funding. Yeah, that definitely works. Rock and roll. Yeah. So, a bursary, a stipend, an honorary onen. Okay, an honorary payment. So, good evening, Candy. You've gone for subsidies as well. Okay, definitely a subsidy. S-U-B-S-I-D-I-E-S. Subsidies. This is where the government subsidise a certain type of business by paying it money so that it keeps running and doesn't go bankrupt. Yeah, a bursary is free money. There's no such thing as a free lunch, left or right. The government sent financial relief to the local people after the flood. Yes, famine relief, but normally relief is uncountable and this S doesn't work. Yeah. You looked it up. Okay, I already did a video on it. That's great. So, yeah, agricultural subsidies. This is a question. The the green pound. Europe is full of agricultural subsidies. It means people in the third world can't compete. Okay, so we're going to have a new article now. That was the very last one in this. This one, the title is People with a Higher Degree of Narcissism Get Promoted Faster, New Research Shows. And why? That's the question. Okay, so this one's about narcissists. Narcissists are people who are in love with themselves. They think they're the bee's knees and the cat's whiskers. They think they're absolutely fantastic. They can't do anything wrong. They are perfect, and everyone else is the problem, not them. Okay, and this is the idea of a narcissist. Great to have you, Paul. So, first answer for vibes. Let's see. Much ink has been leaked, flooded, sloshed, spilled on the dangers of the narcissistic CEO, head of a company. They tend to instill, indoctrinate, saturate, train an individualistic culture throughout the corporation, which reduces collaboration and integrity. So we've already got a load of answers. So vibes goes for leaked. Good evening, Raphael, for leaked as well. Oh, the vain people. These are narcissists. Yes, Laxina. And Vitali goes for spilled. You're a narcissist, part. I wouldn't be too proud of it. Okay, so Count goes for spilled. Vitali goes for instill for the second one. Leferite for spilled in English. But in my language, you've never understood it. Yes, because in Brazil, I doubt the only thing they probably subsidize is the drug industry. I'm sorry to be rude. Okay, so Gabriel for spilled, VG for spilled, Renyard for spilled, Oksana for spilled, Homo sapien for spilled, Navan for spilled, and Raphael for instill. TYTY goes for spill. Spill the beans, as Leferite says. Gabriel for instill. Maria Traspasso for spite. So, spill and instill. They exude confidence. Yes, but maybe it's false confidence. Renyard says instill. And Count goes for still. Vladimir for spilled. Manji for spilled. Good evening. Great to have you with us, Manji. And Paul says instill. Valentine spilled and indoctrinate. Okay. Saturate isn't about the market. Well, you could saturate a market. To me, saturate is talking about chemistry. If a solution is saturated, you can't dissolve any more in it. But I'm saturated. I'm totally wet. Yeah? So, Homo sapiens for spilled, Roland for spilled, Vladimir for spilled. You seem to have all done really well in this. Jerry for spilled and instill, Manji for instill, to overflow, to spill out, and to spill over. So to overflow is to spill over, to the excess goes over the top, whereas spill out can come from anywhere. Yeah, the things were spilling out of his pocket. The water was spilling out of a hole in the bottom. Whereas overflow, it goes to the very top and then flows over. To spill over, to overflow, to spill over the top. And Roland says instill. So, VG goes for still. So, to indoctrinate. What's the direct object of indoctrinate? And that's the important question. And what's the direct object of instill? Saturate doesn't definitely work. And to train. No, you don't train. You train people. Train the workers in an individualistic culture. So to instill, what's the direct object? To indoctrinate, what's the direct object? Instill or indoctrinate? One of them, the direct object is the thing, and with the other, it's the person. So do you instill an idea or a person? Do you indoctrinate an idea or a person? Indoctrinate with. Okay, so you're getting to the answer, Vitali. To instill, to inculcate. So notice this. To instill something into somebody. But to indoctrinate somebody with something. Exactly, Oksana. Okay, this is really good. So, indoctrinate someone with. To indoctrinate someone in. Yes, for learn. Instill an idea. Yes, VG. Indoctrinate people. Instill an idea. Good evening, Zed Rahman. Instill values. That's the idea, left or right. Instill an idea. And that says it's got to be instill, because an individualistic culture is an idea. It's got to be instilled. It's very important when looking at words to think with verbs, to think about what the direct object of the verb is, because you need to put the direct object after the verb, and then normally the indirect object takes some sort of preposition. Yeah? Okay? And notice, to instill something into somebody, to indoctrinate somebody with, to indoctrinate somebody in. To indoctrinate, to brainwash, that's a good one. So, let's see. Indoctrinate a person. Well done, JDK. Exactly, VG. Instill is correct. Yeah. Instill, implant, administer. That's good, Raphael. Normally people are indoctrinated with a sort of ideology. That's the point, Renyard. In my mother tongue it works both ways. Okay, in English you can't. You have to do it like this. You need the direct object first, and you need to know what the direct object of your verb is. So, good evening, Ronan. Great to have you. To seed an idea, yeah. To instill an idea. To indoctrinate individuals with an with individualistic ideas. That's the point, Jerry. Exactly. You can indoctrinate your children into your religion and instill those religious ideas in them. Exactly, JDK. That's the point. Narcissistic is somebody who thinks they're perfect, who knows that everybody else is not perfect and they are perfect. They do everything right. They're unable to say sorry. They're unable to make a mistake. They're unable to admit it. The first one. Sorry. Okay, I missed the first one, didn't I? Yes, that's my bad. Okay. Yes. Much ink has been spilled. This one I think is very difficult. Much ink has been spilled on the dangers. Spill has the idea of wasted. It's the only one that fits. To slosh about, to go from side to side. Yeah? To flood, no. To spill. I know if something leaks it comes out of the bottom, but it's much ink has been spilled. I'm sorry about that. So, I made a mistake and we've had some answers. To instill foolish ideas in children. To indoctrinate children with foolish ideas. Thank you, Jerem. That's great to have you. Okay. I hit you. You is the direct object. I hit you with a brick. The brick is the indirect object. So the direct object of hit is you, and the indirect object something that you use. Okay, I've got to get to this because I put it up earlier. So, rash for Vitaly, Vladimir, Count. Adventurous for Raphael. I use spilt. I still use spilt. I've noticed this, that irregular verbs are progressively becoming more regular. Give it 25 years and there'll be no irregular verbs left in English. Inconsiderate is about a person, yes. Spilled, squandered. Yes, I like that. That's a good explanation. Thank you, Vitaly, as ever. Laxina for rash. Maria Traspasso for inconsiderate. Manji for rash. And good evening, George Washington. Okay. They are known as madcap, adventurous, rash, inconsiderate, and they are known to make madcap, adventurous, rash, inconsiderate and risky decisions. Goes with decisions that can weaken a company's long-term resilience, and they're more likely to engage in aggressive tax avoidance and commit managerial fraud. Okay, so okay, thank you for that. I've noticed lots of words that are suddenly ending in ed, which I would never have imagined. Yeah, I'm sure you will be, VG. Okay, so Gabriel for rash, Paul for rash. Good evening, Francisco. Great to have you with us. Yay, good to see you. Okay, rash. They make rash decisions for Roland. Ink leaks, but in passive voice I can't use it. Ink is leaked. Well, you can secrets can be leaked for learn. They are absolutely, you're absolutely right there. They're known to make. They're known make. You're absolutely right, left or right. Thank you very much for the heads up. It's just wrong. Okay, so madcap. If something's madcap, it's funny and crazy and zany. Yeah. He has a madcap sense of humour. He has madcap ideas about doing funny, crazy things. Madcap talks about fun, yeah, and people laugh at his madcap escapades. If they're adventurous, adventurous is very positive, yeah. And notice this word risky. I guess adventurous would work, but if it's risky, this is being negative, and also they weaken. So adventurous is a positive word, and we're looking for something negative. Inconsiderate. I guess inconsiderate could work, but if somebody's inconsiderate, they're not thinking about other people. They're not thinking about other people's feelings. I think maybe narcissists are inconsiderate, but an inconsiderate decision, well, it might be an inconsiderate decision if it affects somebody else badly and you really haven't thought about how it affects them. Madcap schemes, yeah, madcap schemes, a bit crazy, but madcap is not very critical. An escapade, an adventure, yes. Okay, so, me too, Laxina. Okay, rash collocates with decisions. Absolutely, Oksana. So, rash means not well thought out, not good. If you act rashly, you act prematurely, you act without thinking about it. It was very rash of me to shout at my boss. That's better for my throat. Okay, it was very rash of me not to take an umbrella with me. Yeah, so a premature decision, to act without thinking, to be hasty. Yeah, don't be so rash. Stop and think about it, because if you do this, you're going to get into trouble. Hasty, rapid, rash, precipitate. I love it. And that's the other question I was going to ask, left or right. A rash, a skin irritation. You could have these red points on your skin. If you touch poison ivy, you get rash all over your body. Yeah? Rash is, yes, precipitated. Rash decisions, precipitated decisions. Absolutely, VG. I haven't looked at the news today, Samrat. I'll probably look at it tomorrow. Yeah, like haste. Good evening, Julia Maldini. Okay, so if you're rash, you're hasty, you don't think about what you're doing. Headstrong. Yeah, well, she has got very old indeed. So rash, abrupt without thinking. Rash driving, yes. But don't rash it. I haven't heard that phrase, but it could work. Stop and think about it. I will get a rash, very probably. The ink was leaking, not correct, but has been spilled. Spilled, wasted. It's not a collocation for learn. But it's a much better word. I think if it's leaking, it's coming. It has less of an idea of wasting it. Where if you spill it, you're wasting it. You're squandering it. Good evening, polyglot. Okay. Abrupt, rash, and scabies. Yeah, scabies is a horrible rash. Yeah, I think it's caused by some sort of insect. Yeah, because you get these dots down your arm. So, I better read this. Some management scientists have even speculated that narcissism can bring off, bring over, bring away, bring down, bring out entire companies, as may have been the case with the fall of Enron in 2001. So, Vitali goes for down, so does Laxina. Okay, good evening, Carly. Great to have you. Oksana goes for down, so does Count Beauty. To bring down. Haste makes wake. Rash brings trash. You made that up. That's fine. I like it. Rash brings trash. It's very good. To bring down for Sheddy. Rash related to rush. I don't know. They may be the same etymology, but I'm not sure. That I would have to look up, Jerem. So, bring down for Manji, for BG, for Vladimir, for Sheddy. Raphael goes up. To bring up, to vomit. Oh, to bring up a subject. Okay. Dogs have scabies, right? Very, very true. Humans can get it too from their dogs. To bring up a topic. Okay. To bring down. Yes, to bring down an organization. This is good. Bring down. So what about the other phrasal verbs here? To bring off, to bring over, and I would say to bring out. To bring away is to take something away. I brought it away. Oh, yes. If I go to prison, I'll bring you down with me. That's a lovely one, left or right. I love it. Scabies is a skin disease. Yeah? It's a rather nasty rash. You get red marks all over your hand. Bankruptcy to companies. That's the point. So, bring down for Paul, Gabriel, Roland, Navan, Renyard. They aren't related. Thank you, Vitali. Okay, so, who's that lucky guy, left or right? Don't we use to bring down with? Yeah, you could. Yeah, it brings me down. Sad scenes bring me down, but you can bring down an empire. The barbarians brought down the Roman Empire. Maybe this scandal will bring Bojo down. Okay, blimey, I love it. search for scabies here on YouTube. You will see some images. It's not very nice. It does itch. Okay, to bring off, to do something successfully. Thank you very much, Vitali. So all of you seem to have brought off this question. If you bring something off, you're successful in doing something that is difficult, or it seems unlikely that you're going to succeed. To bring somebody over, to persuade them. Yeah, he said no, but I managed to bring him over. Yeah, I brought him over to my way of seeing things. And then to bring out, to emphasize. So the blue in your jersey brings out the beautiful color in your eyes, to add emphasis to. So one thing brings out another. Juxtaposition, if you juxtapose two things, the idea is that one thing will bring out the other. She was brought up by her grandparents. That'll do, Roland. They're very useful. Okay, the juxtaposed building brings down our house with it. That's another meaning, though. This brings out the best in his students. Thank you. Well, yeah. Or maybe do you bring out the best or the worst in people? That's a good example, though, left, right. I love it. He brings out the best in his students. Yeah. This brings out the worst in me. It's a cola. Okay. A masterpiece is very hard to bring off, to successfully do. Very good indeed. That's a pleasure, Mohammed. Thanks, Victor. Okay. Okay, so let's try the next one then. What's the difference between poison ivy and stinging nettle? Well, in the UK we don't have poison ivy. A stinging nettle just hurts. Poison ivy is much, much, much stronger. Yeah. They're different plants. A stinging nettle hurts, in my opinion, about the same as a bee sting, maybe slightly less. Bring away doesn't exist. Well, yeah, he brought the trophy away from the competition. Yeah, but it's effectively to take away, to take with you. So, although despite, in spite, nevertheless, these serious concerns about narcissistic leadership, surprisingly little is known about the way that these self-centered and overconfident people arrive at their positions of power in the first place. So, Vitali goes for despite, and so does Valentine. Laxina says in spite. What comes after in spite, Laxina? Yeah, you need another word. Manji for despite, Gabriel for despite, Vibes for despite. They can charm their way into positions of trust. That's what this is effectively saying, Jerem. Despite for Raphael, VG despite. I was brought down by the sad music. That works, Zachariah. And despite for Oksana Maria Traspasso, despite for Shedi, Paul, and that's it, TYTY. In spite of, and there's no of here, so it can't be in spite of. Okay, Julia, although. And Victor Gabriel, no, it doesn't work. Although these serious concerns about narcissistic leadership exist, although there is, it needs something else. Yeah, although there are serious, although these serious concerns exist about, yeah, it's got to be despite, in spite of, exactly. Okay, Despacito, slowly part 4, take it slowly, in spite of. So, despite for Vladimir, of with Vic VG and left right, despite for Roland. Good evening, Svetlana, despite, very good. Mohammed for despite. Zachariah, although, it doesn't fit unfortunately, although there are, although although these serious concerns exist, although these serious concerns about narcissistic leadership have been observed, you need some other type of verb. In spite of, what ways? I'm not with that one. Okay, ways. Okay, so let me continue. Despite for Mohammed, despite, in spite of Renyard, in spite of noun. Yeah, if you put the of, it's fine. Okay, Julia. So, although plus clause. Yeah, although there are, although it needs to be a full clause, and it's not a full clause. So, although doesn't work. No, it doesn't. Although there exist, although these serious concerns have been observed about narcissistic leadership, have been observed, you need a full clause. Yeah? Although there are serious concerns, although there are these serious concerns about, you would need. So, despite, very definitely, and in spite of, VG, definitely. Although needs a clause, noun would have a verb. Yes, that's it for learn. Exactly, though doesn't work as well. Though for exactly the same reasons. Thank you, Jerem, that's the point. Good evening, King. Ways. Okay. Now I understood it. About the... So this isn't actually a question. The ways, they're using both words. Maybe it's singular and maybe it's plural. Yeah, now I understand this. Both are good. Both work very well. Yeah. Okay. Little is known about the ways that these self-centered and overconfident people arrive. Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's the point, Raphael. That's it. Okay. Although various serious concerns exist, despite sounds a bit more formal. It's the only one that's right as well. Yeah. Nevertheless, despite these serious concerns. But nevertheless, no, it doesn't work either. Okay, so let's go for the next one. Does the ambition and insolence, hubris, boasts, preening of narcissism actively help someone to be promoted so that they are more likely to reach the top than the average person? Or are narcissistic leaders a toxic but rather uncommon phenomenon in the average workplace? Versus nonetheless. Nevertheless, nonetheless. They're both the same vibes. Okay, so... Yes, exactly. That's the idea, Raphael. And we're starting to get... Yeah, way and ways together would work. Yes. Okay, so we're starting to get some answers, and this is interesting. So we've got hubris for Vitali and left or right. Maria Traspaso goes boasts. And Manji goes for hubris. This is great. And Reza for hubris, and Roland for hubris as well. And Paul for boasts. I love this question. What is to preen, by the way? What is to preen? Even so, you still need the clause with even so. You can't use it. Yeah? Even so there are. And... Count goes for insolence. Mohammed for boasts. Yehevni for hubris. Good evening, Yehevni. You have no idea for VG. That's a good way. Jerry goes for insolence. Does the ambition or do the ambition? Does the ambition. Okay, but this is because the does the ambition, it's uncountable here. No, or it's, yeah, does the uncountable ambition of these people, do the ambitions lack sinner? And I've got it written here so I can remember it this time. Where did I put it? Because Manji helped me out last time. Shanku. That's it, Shanku. So Shanku goes for hubris. Yeah? I know one word there, insolence. And it's definitely not insolence, because to be insolence is to be rude to people. And normally narcissists, they're not rude, they're just, they have no concept. Okay, hubris brings nemesis is an ancient expression. I love it, Jerem. Hubris, left or right, this is a great word, I love it. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite words. The little girl is preening in the mirror. To preen, to make yourself look nice. Very good, Roland. Insolence or hubris, both work. Okay, I guess insolence works, but I think hubris is a much better word. So hubris talks about pride. Yeah, hubris is you are incredibly proud of yourself. Yeah, and hubris is definitely a characteristic of narcissists. Or are narcissist leaders a toxic? Well, yeah, are narcissistic leaders a toxic but rather uncommon phenomenon in the worst workplace? Yes, it does, Zachariah. Hubris, arrogant pride, I love it. Hubris is one of my favourite words. Okay, it's just that they're saying that both are possible for fears. For learn. Either the way or the ways. They're just giving us a choice of both words. Insolence, audacity. Yes, okay, it does talk about audacity, rude audacity. Yeah. Preening in the mirror. To preen, to make yourself look good. Preening. Yeah, he was preening himself. Birds preen their feathers. Yeah, they put their feathers in line so that they can fly well. Okay, so preen 8 months ago. Hubris is arrogance, is extreme arrogance. Arrogance would fit very nicely. There are two things connected to ambition and hubris. Shouldn't it be do? But no. Does the ambition? Okay. Do the ambition and insolence? Does the ambition and insolence? I actually see, yes, I now understand what you're saying. I didn't see this before. Yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. There are two things connected. Absolutely, Gabriel. I'm sorry, who did I say does? It was, yeah. It was VG, wasn't it? So, yeah, absolutely. Do the ambition and insolence. Yep, it's definitely plural. To boast, to brag, to say how fantastic you are. But a boast, the boasts of narcissism. Well, I guess his boasts about his virility are not real. To preen, to groom, exactly, Raphael. Okay. Presumptuous. Yes, presumptuous. Yeah, they're very presumptuous. Okay, it's a pleasure, King. Okay, hubris is a positive feature. No, hubris is very negative. Yeah, hubris says you are too proud. You're too proud of yourself. Yeah, you think you are really, really good. Hubris is a negative thing. Yeah, an excessive confidence in a bad way, not in a good way. The story of Icarus is a veritable example of hubris. That is a great example, Manji. I love it. Thank you. Huh. So, good evening, Arsenal boy. And conceit. Yeah, conceit works, Zachariah. Insolent, presumptuous. Yes, insolent and presumptuous. Yeah, they're presumptuous as well. But definitely for me, hubris. Yes, it was Laxina. My apologies, Laxina. Yeah, you were the one to spot it. Thank you for that, VG. Hubris in Arabic is thank you, Muhammad. Love of their lives is always with them. Boasts of his money. Thank you, Shanku. Yes, you see, VG's a great guy, Laxina. Thank you very much. My apologies, Laxina. What is the adjective of hubris? I guess hubristic. But it's not. Yeah, his hubristic attitude is totally unacceptable. Hubris before a fall. Hauteur. I like that, Laxina. That's quite good. Mourinho displays hubris, and I think Ronaldo as well sometimes used to. Okay, so that was really good. Hubris is one of my favourite words, by the way. Yeah. I remember when I first learning this word, when someone used it, and I hadn't a clue what it meant. I think, 17 years old. Hubristic, yes, as I said. Okay, so hubris, overweening pride. I will always remember that. Hubris. No, hubristic. Hubris, as in bristle, as in Bristol. Okay, vibes. A peacock is a hubristic animal. Okay, I better get working. A new paper by Italian researchers attempts to close that gap, span, split, aperture, fissure in our knowledge, and it has some serious implications for the ways that companies select and reward their employees. So we've got gap 4, Vladimir, Donald Trump, hubris. Okay, I like that one, Arsenal boy. Okay, and gap for Valentine Count Beauty, Vitali, Oksana, Vibes, Maria Traspasso, for Shanku, for Maria, for Leferite, for Yehevni, for Manji. Your favourite word is loathe. Okay, it's a good word as well, Laxina. And gap for Navan, for Reza, for Roland. You see, I did note it down, Manji. Thank you very much for your heads up last week. Gabriel for gap for king. Bridge the gap in knowledge. That's the point. Yes, a gap. A span is a distance between two places, or a span in time. A split is something that breaks apart. An aperture is like a hole. Yeah, the aperture of a lens, and a fissure is like a split or a crack. No, it's definitely got to be a gap in our knowledge. Yeah, that collocates very nicely. Bridge the gap in knowledge. Gap for Paul, for Mohammed, for Jerry. An aperture is a hole. Yeah, a hole in something. He made an aperture in the piece of paper. The lens of a camera, the old cameras, they used to have an aperture that got bigger and smaller. Yeah, okay, an aperture is a hole. Yeah, but it comes from open. Yeah, it's definitely one of a Latin root. Aperture. Aperture. You're probably right. Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much indeed. Spelling mistake. Very good. Thank you, Yehevni. That's very good. Okay, so yes, let's try this next one then. So, how stars are born. You're right, Yehevni. Very good indeed. How stars are born. There are many good reasons for suspecting that narcissists might get over, get along, get before, get ahead, get forth more quickly than their colleagues. So, Shanku goes for over. Gabriel for ahead, Valentine for over. For the previous one, no. Okay, so the hubris. Get ahead for Vitali, get ahead for Leforite, Oksana goes for ahead, Falern goes for ahead, Maria Traspasso ahead. Good evening, Tom K, great to have you. Vladimir for ahead, Count Beauty goes ahead, Manji ahead, absolutely. Implications, things that are likely to happen. Yes, so, I don't know, grey clouds imply that there's going to be rain. The implication is rain. Okay, so to get over something, okay, you get over an illness or you get over something that makes you sad. To get along, to make progress. How are you getting along with your English? Yeah? Okay. To get before, no. To get ahead is more than get along. Yeah? To get ahead of the competition. And to get forth, no. So to get ahead of the competition. Yeah? Okay, so to get ahead for Yehevni, for Manisco, for Mohammed, for Roland, for Tom K, for Jerry, Renyard, and Paul as well. Yes, definitely to get ahead. If you want to get ahead in life, you need to you need to know many specialized things. To get over, to recover from, to get along, to progress. You might get along more quickly than they might get along. This along would work. But ahead is a much better, because you're getting along with everyone else as well. Yeah, whereas to get ahead, you're getting an advantage over. And this is a much better word. It has a much better meaning. So yes, you need to try and get ahead in life. You need to get along with other people. Yeah? Get along with a relationship with someone as well. They get along badly, they get along well. How's your project getting along? It's getting along badly, it's getting along well. To keep a friendly relationship, absolutely. So both Oksana and Roland. Narcissists tend to get along more quickly themselves, yes. Yeah, but they get ahead of everyone else. You get along with your colleagues. Friendship can help us get ahead in this world. That's correct. But to get ahead of other people. Tidings of COVID and joy, left or right. And without the humility that would prevent others from beeping, calling, warbling, bugling, tooting their own horn, narcissists may be especially good at self-promotion and making certain that their contributions are recognized, even if they do not deserve to be held in such high esteem. So, to your own horn, and this is a collocation, from blowing their own horn would work, yeah? But there's no blowing here. So, let's see, tooting for... Once upon a time, I actually lived in a place called Tooting. Tooting for Vitali, for Learn, for Count Beauty, for Laxina. Maria Traspasso says beep. Beep, 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 beep. I guess you could beep the horn of your car, but not in this one. Tooting your horn for Vibes, tooting for Manji, yeah, tooting for Yevni, and bugling, a bugle. To bugle, the bugler bugles, yeah? Tooting for Reza, tooting their own horn for Roland, absolutely. To blow your own trumpet, yes, South London, SE17 left or right. No, SW17, not SE, SW17. Yeah, it's just south of Clapham and Balham. Tooting Beck, Arsenal boy. Tooting Beck, near the Common, between Tooting Beck and Streatham. I always remember that place. The Common used to be full of prostitutes. Sorry. Let go on. So, to warble. Nobody's talked about warble. Okay, so to warble. You know this the way the Swiss or German, they yodel, hee-hoo. This is to warble. Yeah? To warble is when your voice goes up and down and up and down, to warble. A warbler is a type of bird. Yeah? It's definitely warble. Yes, definitely onomatopoeia for warble. To toot your own horn. Toot, toot, toot. Yeah. A tutor who tooted the flute tried to tutor two tutors to toot. Yeah, I can't remember the rest of this. After a while, they stopped because they realised there wasn't any business with me. Okay. You could call Yevgeny. Eugenie. Thank you, Oksana. Eugenie. Okay, that's much easier for me. Eugenie. Yes, I can see it now. Yeah, on the Common, Tooting Common, Tooting Beck Common. My God, what a place! But it was cheap. I was very young at the time. Good evening, Emin. Great to see you. So, to toot your own horn, tooting. Okay, to toot your own horn. Great to see you, Emin. Yeah, or to blow your own horn. I guess you could beep the horn in your car, but that doesn't mean to boast. To toot your own horn is to say how wonderful you are. To warble. Yeah, a bugle is like a little trumpet that they use in the army. You. Okay, Yev. Okay, thank you, Yev. That's great. That's easy for me. That's brilliant, Yev. I love it. Okay, so, yeah, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I'm the best teacher ever. That's a bit narcissistic, isn't it? Yes, the birds were warbling mellifluously. That sounds lovely, Vibes. Yeah, no, but this is a great place, Arsenal boy. Yeah, it's a great chat. These are really good people. Yeah? Gloat implies Schadenfreude. I love Schadenfreude as well. Yeah, you feel happiness because something bad has happened to your enemy. The policeman tooted his whistle. That's very good, Reza. So, in 2017, a 2017 study found that narcissists' high appraisal, examination, calculation, ballpark of their own performance does not match objective measures of their actual achievements, which are no more remarkable than those of people around them. Okay, so we've got some answers. And appraisal for Laxina, for Vitali, for Vibes, for Count, for Valentine, for appraise, for Manji, for Vladimir, for Gabriel, for Paul, for Maria Traspasso, for Oksana, for Roland, for Tom K. So that looks pretty good. I think you've all remembered this explanation I gave a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, about apprise and appraise. Appraisal for Emin. Well done, Emin. Appraisal for Renyard as well. So to apprise means to give somebody information. He apprised me of the information. Yeah, but to appraise is to estimate, to work out. Yeah, he appraised the value of the object. Yeah, so to apprise is to inform. Yeah, I appraised the situation. I worked out the situation, and then I apprised. I informed my boss. Ballpark. I think only this with ballpark figure. Yeah, could you give me a ballpark estimate, a rough estimate? Okay, Yev, an appraisal. Absolutely, they have a very high appraisal of their own performance. Apprise, inform, appraise, to estimate, to look at a situation, to evaluate. That's brilliant. I'm really proud of you lot, because I did this probably a month ago and you all got it right. Yes. Congratulations. Obstreperous is awkward. Yeah, he's trying to make things as difficult as possible. He's such an obstreperous individual. So, appraisal, exactly, VG. Okay, to watch the match between Egypt and Senegal. Okay, I hope Egypt win for you, Mohammed. Okay, this is the last question. To appraise, to estimate, exactly, Ro. Thanks to their puffed, inflated, ornate, overdrawn view of themselves, narcissists may also present more ambitious plans for the future, which could impress their bosses or recruitment panels until they eventually reach the top job. So, go Salah. Okay, so Vitali for inflated for Oksana, inflated for Laxina. Count Beauty goes for it, inflated. Could you apprise? Could you inform? You need to apprise somebody, learn. Yeah? Could you apprise me about the event? Yeah? Could you tell me about the event? Could you appraise the event? Could you think about what it is? Think about it. So inflated for Valentine, obstreperous, uncontrollable, obstreperous teenagers in class, my God. Inflated for Manji. What's this word puffy? And how would we make puffed work? If we had another word to puffed, we could do it. Inflated Jew for VG. Yes, inflated views for VG. The judge seemed confident in his appraisal. Yes, very good. Inflated for Maria Traspasso and Manji and Jerry. Exuberant. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling pretty exuberant. Leforite for inflated. Reza for inflated view. Emin for overdrawn. Well, most normally you're overdrawn at the bank means you haven't got any money and you owe the bank money. I guess you could draw something too big and it might work, but it's not very clear. An inflated salary. Disjointed, informal. Disjointed. The essay's a bit disjointed. An inflated salary, Paul for inflated, an inflated view, Roland. In a formal context. Yes, disjointed works very nicely, formally. To huff and puff. Okay, that's their huff and puff view of themselves. Puffy is swollen. Okay, so puffed up would work, but puffed up, that's it, Paul. Puffed up, haughty. Fake it till you make it is your motto. Who's that? I read her TED talk. She's a really nice looking girl. Fake it till you make it. Puffy, swollen, inflated. Yeah, the guy hit me and my eye went all puffy, swollen up. That's it, puffed up. So, no mangy. Okay, puffed. Most normally mangy, puffy. Yeah, I'm talking about swollen, but puffed up. You puff up a balloon. Particularly has a very puffed up impression of himself, a very puffed up view. Yeah, it talks about self-important. That's why I put these two together. Yeah. If you hit yourself, the bruise becomes puffy. Whereas if something's puffed up, yeah, it's inflated. You puff up a balloon. Yeah, puffed up, haughty, I love it. Puffed up for Tom K. Yes, inflated tire, inflated balloon, an inflated view of one's achievements. Yeah, he puffed up the balloon. Puffed, out of breath. That would work as well. Look for, left or right, look for Fake It Till You Make It and put it in YouTube, and there's a TED talk by her. Okay, neurotic. The neurotic view of themselves. Egotistical. So, the right word is inflated. Yeah, thank you very much. Sugar puffs. Because they're puffed up. Left or right. They're inflated. Okay, guys and girls, that's enough for today. Inflated view, exaggerated view. Exactly, puffed up view. Thank you all for coming. You've been a great crowd as always. Amy Cuddy, that's the word, Oksana. Thank you very much. Yeah? And I'm sure she's been faking it till she makes it, which is great. Ciao, Rob. Great to have you. So it's been wonderful having you. I hope you all stay safe. I will be back again next week. It's been a real pleasure having you, Vitali, and the same to you, VG. Thank you, Laxina, for coming. Stay safe, all of you. I hope you all have a great week. It's a pleasure, Tom K. Thank you, Count. The bees are doing fine, left or right. Here, 1T and inflated. Thank you very much, Vitali. Okay, thank you, Shanku. Great to have you. Thank you, Gabriel. Hey, live. Great to see you here. Thank you, Maria Traspasso. Thank you, King. Thank you. Either somebody's narcissistic or they're not. It's a character trait. Thank you, Paul. Okay, thank you, Valentine. Supercilious. Yeah, I like supercilious. That's a good word, vibes. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. Allah, Afaf and Reza and Oksana, thank you, all of you. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's great. So I'll see you all next week. I'll leave the chat on for a little bit so that